I'm Julie. This is Stitching at the Cabin. No Alyssa. Still. Someday she'll be back. Welcome to the new people that joined after the Whip Parade. I realized my Whip Parade was late enough in Whip Parade season that it didn't get the exposure it normally does, and I'm fine with that, but welcome to those of you that did join the cabin group. Is that an HOA? Yeah. Anyway, today's going to be a slightly wonky one. It is, I don't even know what day of the week it is. I think it's Wednesday. It's not June. February, getting closer. I think it's the 12th. I've had one heck of a week. My Monday started Friday. It's been bad. We'll get to that. I think that we're going to do the normal routine, except I have 3 finishes, but I'm not going to show them, and I need to spin for the whips, but I'm not going to, the whip show. I think what I'm going to do is next episode, I'm going to show all the finishes and all the whips. Get that wheel cleaned out, and then we'll start over fresh. I like it better when Alyssa's here and she can join in. Also, this was kind of last minute. I worked an extra hour tonight, so it's later than normal. But I wasn't prepared because I've had so much work drama. It wasn't till I got off work I thought, oh, I should do this. And I didn't have any notes, so I had to quick scramble and figure out what I worked on and gather it all up. So next time will be better because we'll enjoy it all together and I'll be much more energetic because I think most of my problems will be solved by then. Deal? Everybody gonna come back and watch that one? Okay. So, I'm gonna show you my whips. I do have a finish, and I may forget to show it to you. So, I'm telling you now, I have a finish. It's right there. But let's start with Keto, because we always start with Keto. So, here's Keto by Annie Stick. Heaven and Earth Designs. 25 count, 201 full class. She is retired now. This is the last page in this row, and then we'll unroll this. I promise I'll take a picture so that you can see it all, and then we're going to roll it up some more and move down. I don't want to roll it up a ton because then I'm reaching really far, and this is all the way on the edge, so I'm leaning to try to work on it as it is. I don't have enough space to move the Lowry stand over. It would hit the wall and the light and all that if I did, so I just have to lean over when I work on it. So that might explain some of the slow process. I'm not thrilled to jump out of the bed in the morning and then lean way over, but I do love to stitch. So anyway, look, it's coming along. Isn't it pretty? She's so pretty. Pretty Keto. I forget that you guys can't see so well, because to me, I can see everything, but once I go to edit, I see it's really far back. So I try to get closer now, but also I kind of don't remember. Here's Harvest Afghan, Stony Creek. I don't think I have a picture, but I'll put one in somewhere so you can see. And you'll notice that this has moved and you can no longer see all the things that you could see before. I did take a picture. When I popped off the Q-snap to move it down after I finished this, I said, sorry. So many things were popping up, and then some of them actually pertain to me, and I'm like, why are we talking about me? It's my husband's iPad. So when I moved this, I did take this off and I took a picture of the thing in its entirety. So I will, I forgot I turned the volume up on my phone because of the problem I'm having. So you're gonna hear things now that you don't normally hear. I'm usually fully silenced. So hopefully I have put in a picture of what it's going to look like. I put in a picture of what it looked like before I moved it, and then you can see the picture here, and hopefully there's a before and after. Sorry for being slightly distracted here. I should be better going forward. I think my husband just got home. I think that was that noise. I love this so much. It is 4/2 full class. It is just the most pleasant thing to work on. Of all my projects, this is probably the one where the stitches lay the nicest. You just get so much done. It's so pleasant. You get all these little finishes with each little thing. I really like this Afghan. Everybody should have an Afghan, I think. And you know, what I think matters. I'm going to say pretty 1,000 times because I always do and I don't realize it till I'm editing it. I know some of you are here to see the Heaven and Earth Sal. I'm sorry I don't have a lot done. I do intend to work on it some this month. I just haven't gotten around to it. But I do have more done than the last time you saw it. And since the last one was a whip parade, it's the before and after. I mean, they're all going to be here, but we didn't really talk about this stuff last time. Hi. Husband interruption. He came home. I think this is the right way up. This is Innocent Dreams, so this is the bunny one. I would like for all of my projects not to be a long reach for me, but since it's the top corner, I'm reaching, or reaching, depending on which lolly stand I'm using. So I'm looking forward to, you know, things down lower. I know that's not much progress. I know y'all are disappointed in me, but you know what? I never had the intention of finishing this out, and especially not, I mean, I'm going to finish it, but not this year and not in that time period. This looks to me to be 28 count. Yeah, I had to wait forever for this fabric to get here. That's why it took me so long to start it. 28 count. Easy guide, easy grid, easy whatever. I will take pictures after so that I don't bore all of you with that. So I'm not going to super seal things up because I'm just going to take them back out. I worked on this the other night. I don't think there was a whole lot of progress, but it was very comforting, and I made it so that I can work on it on the upcoming retreat. We have a retreat at the end of this month. Live and Die LA is putting on a Pacific Stitching retreat, end of February. Alyssa and I are both going. So I was going to take this because I can do like chunks of stitching. This is Jolly Christmas Bell Pull from the Tiny Modernist. I've started at the top. So I filled in, well, I did the outline so I can finish filling that in, and then I put the words in so that I can finish filling that in. That's just all red now. Everything opens red and everything up here is white. And then plus you can do these green, white without having to, you know, look at the pattern. It's very easy and repetitive. So this will be a really good retreat stitch. But it's still on the Q-snap because I just did that the other night. And I thought, well, I'm going to leave it on here because I'm going to take it to the retreat and I'm going to show you guys. It's fun. I enjoy this one. I think it's the called for fabric. I don't remember what it is, but whatever it is, it's, I think, the called for. I don't know if this says. I don't think any of you care enough for me to dig through that. So if you want to know, ask, and I will definitely look. I worked on this yesterday, and only yesterday. This is Tiki Beach Sunset. I'll have to put in a picture. It is Heaven and Earth. It's Amy Stewart, and it is the full one. It's not max color or anything, not super size, but just the regular. Super enjoying it. I had such a rough day yesterday. I was like, I need something that will give me peace, and this just kept calling to me, so I got up and grabbed it. That's Momo. That's our bird. He's downstairs, one of now 3. We lost the 4th one. I mean, she didn't like fly away. She died. Anyway, happy. We're gonna be happy. So I didn't do a whole lot last night, just a few hundred stitches. So you're not gonna see a massive difference, but I sure do enjoy working on this one. I love the way it looks. I love the way it's coming out. I believe it's 28 count as well, 1/1 full class. I should have said that with the bunny. It's 1/1 on 28. I'm looking forward to it. I was looking forward to working on this tonight, but alas, I needed to film. So maybe after, if I have time, once I take pictures and put everything away, maybe I can stitch a little. Because I am going to be in Anaheim tomorrow, so I'm not going to have time. I am going to show you the finish, so then I can show you a new start. Well, there's a few new starts for you since the last. I finished, this is from Lola Crow, Don't Eat the Berries. All done. All done. You like? This was a fun one. I don't know why it took me as long as it did, because I think I started it last year or the year before. It should have been done. I don't know why it wasn't, but yeah, I think that looked great in a round frame, although, you know, the chances of me actually getting a round frame and framing it and hanging it anywhere, pretty slim. You like the spider hanging off the basket? Spider. The evil gnome. He might not be evil. He's more like dead. Dead gnome. Okay, so now I can put that away, and I don't need to take a picture of that, so I'll put that down there by my toesies. Okay, so I finished that, and I thought, well, I need to start something, right? That's how it works. And I didn't want to start anything that I already had that was going on, and I didn't want to start something massive because I've had a lot of new starts lately. So I thought I'll not spin the wheel. I'll do the experiment where I do the random number generator. I've numbered everything in my stash, and then I do the random number generator, and whenever number it picks, that would be the new start. So I did, and it was Hildy's Brew, which I've had in my stash since she, I was gonna say invented it, since she designed it, Bendy Stitchy. I think it's 2019, yeah, 2019. I've had it all that time. And I could have finished this, but there was something about starting and finishing that made me not excited to show you. So I did a ton, and then I was like, I'll just wait till I've showed this to you, and then I can go back and finish it. If I wanted to finish it at a retreat and ring the bell, I could take this. I don't want to ring a bell because then everybody looks at you. But it needs another bat and the rest of the border, possibly other stuff. I don't remember, but yeah. Does it? No, just another bat and some border. I think that's it. I think everything else is done. Might be some more back stitching, but I think I've done all the back stitching so far. Fun. I think it's the call for the fabric, which I want to say is haunted. I don't think it's murky, because murky is more of a browny, greeny. So I think this is probably haunted. I've had the fabric for so long. It's whatever the call for is. Which again, I can look up if you really want to know. Okay, what's this? What are we looking at? This was a new start. This weekend. I started this weekend. This was, again, one of those things where I spun the wheel, and it was Lady of Shalott, which I didn't feel like doing because that's a Teresa Wentzler, and my life is stressful right now, and I didn't want to do that. So I did the experiment, which is we had a number generator with the number stash, and it pulled up 16, which was this one, and I thought Lady of Shalott or this one, and I opted for this one. So I started it. I don't have a picture. I mean, I can put up a picture. I don't have a picture here, but I did write down who the designer was. Chatelaine Cross Stitch Designs. And if you watch Stitching Good Things with Hallie, she has already finished this. In fact, this is where I saw it and decided I needed it, and then I bought it, but then I didn't start it. So here we are. Now we're all up to date. This is Picture This Plus Ale. I got it at Shepherd's Bush when I was at a retreat in Utah. Apparently I didn't work on it. Apparently I didn't start it. I lied. It's not in here. Haha! I started at the bottom because, you know, the gnome is like pointy, which would make it hard to start at the top, so I started at the bottom. This is also a massive piece of fabric, and I didn't want to waste it by starting in the middle. So, bottom. We've got the bottom. Oh, that's just so many perked threads and danglies and stuff. It's so much more confetti-ish than you would think, but I think because of the snowflakes, and I think once I get out of the snowflakes, it's going to be a lot less. It'll be more blocky and less 5,001 things to start. But also, my husband made me these floss drops on his 3D printer, and I got this massive ring, and so I've been labeling the thing and then putting it on, and I'm doing that as I'm doing the thing. So it's like I start over here and it's like, okay, let's pull out that color. So then I have to bobbin it up, well, not bobbin, but floss drop it all up, cut it, do the whole thing, and then start that, stitch 5 stitches. Okay, what's the next color? So it's been really time consuming, but I don't think it will be once I get more done. And if you can hear that, I apologize. It's raining. It hardly ever rains, and it's raining. But it's raining loud enough you might be able to hear it. I guess I shouldn't apologize. It's rain. It's not like I'm throwing people into things, and I don't know what I'm trying to say. I don't know. Anyway, that's a fun new start. It'll be more fun when it's more set up and less drama. Let's see what's in this bag. What is in here? More floss drops. Do I know what this? Did I mean to pull this out? What do we think this is? Oh, I think it's a new start for you, not for me. It's a new start, but for me, it was a new start like 3 weeks ago. I think this was like, I was gonna say New Year, new start, but it wasn't because I was in Hawaii and it was that island life. I don't know when this new start was. It's when the fabric came. I know that much. So I'm gonna have to put in a picture because I don't have a picture. Anything that I download, like off of Etsy or Heaven and Earth Designs, or I think this one stitches so beautiful. Any of that stuff, I don't. I don't have the copy. It was PDF. That's what I'm trying to say. Anything that's PDF, I don't have a picture of, so I have to stick one in. I realize that doesn't look like much progress. Again, I was kidding up. I was thread dropping and stuff as I went. This is also very confetti heavy, and I'm in the top corner, so I'm leaning. It doesn't look like it would be confetti heavy. I was shocked. I just thought this was going to be like 3 colored grays and a white, and it's none of that. That's more blues, and I mean, I guess there's some gray, but it's not what you think. But it's fun. Could be 32, but I think it's 28, because again, I was waiting for the fabric, so most likely 28 count 1/1 full crest. But it's pretty. Well, that looked like a mess, but look, it's pretty. I was so excited to start this one. So excited. But it's not that exciting yet. I need it to be more exciting. It will be when I'm not leaning into a corner doing, neutral colors. It will be. At the moment, it's just not thrilling. What else have we got? I'm actually dressed under this. Maybe not my legs. I changed back into jammies when I got home from the bank today, but I am dressed. It's just cold. Clothing. I have clothing on. Clothing. It's just been cold. Even when my husband walked in, he's like, "Oh, it's cold in here." So I just didn't. I threw this on and just wanted to cuddle in and snuggle and feel better about everything. I'm whining. Eggs all around. Glendon Place. I almost said Rosewood Manor. That's why I stared at that. In my head, it was Rosewood Manor, but when I looked at it, I couldn't make Glendon Place, which is backwards to me, look like Rosewood Manor. So I had a moment of rebooting. Now, I discovered there was a mistake again, and I took it out and I fixed it. And then I discovered that there's actually an even worse mistake, and I'm hoping that it's just not obvious. Because I'm not taking it out, because I'd already put the beads in. I don't know what this fabric is. As I say every time, it's whatever it's called for Princess Ileana from Mirabilia. It's like peaceful purple, peaceful lavender. I don't know. Something that sounds happy and pleasant. All right. Here we go. Oh, and this is not the called for, because the variegated that it's called for isn't variegated. So this is a DMC, which every time I tell you, I can look and see, and then it takes forever, and then I tell you, and I don't think anyone really cares. So one of these eggs, this egg, this one with the beads over here, should have come down like 1 extra stitch, and I'm not entirely certain what went wrong, because it's fine up here, and then all of a sudden it's not fine. But I also discovered this hadn't come out far enough, so I had to undo all of this, make this come out further, and then come back around. And then I've done all of this in here. That was, I think, 2 nights of work, and I just didn't feel like working on it again last night, so I pulled out Tiki Beach instead for some comfort stitching. This is definitely linen, but I'm probably 28 count, but who knows? Isn't that pretty? I get a little bit bored, because it's kind of repetitive, so I get like a little bit bored, and so then I switch to like a different egg, and then it's fun, so then I'll go back to that egg and switch over here and do a little egg, That's the nice thing about it. It kind of feels like a bunch of little things. Then you don't have to just stick with one, because, if I'm not a monogamous stitcher, I'm also not going to be a monogamous egger. I'm going to jump around with my eggs. This egg, that egg, eggy, egg. 1, 2, 3, I think 4 left. Just 4, that's all. Then we can move on to a haul. There is haul. Yeah. That's good. Well, we have other stuff. Oh, this is kind of soft. I like this one. This is Addie's. Go ahead. Tell you about that. Dinner decisions. Okay, so this is Addie's window. It is Scott Gustafson, I think. having another 28 count 1/1, I think. This is the top right corner. I don't know how many stitches I put in. I don't remember at this point. It doesn't really look like a whole lot, does it? But it's supposed to be like leaves in a tree, and I keep going back and looking at the mock-up, like, is this right? Does this look right? I mean, it does. It does. It's just so unexciting. And I guarantee you when I get more done, that's going to be really exciting. But just as it is, it's like, what is that? And why would you waste time doing this? But I promise, it's not a waste of time. And the stitches are laying nicely. And it just doesn't look like anything yet. It's going to be a while before it does. But again, what I do enjoy working on, it's up in the top corner and I don't see much of anything. Why is everything in the corner? It's because I didn't start enough before, so now everything is a new start and you're in the corners. If I told you three before, I lied, because there's still 3 here. My mom, I usually save this for the update, but I'll just do it now. My mom had her port removed. Everything went fine. She was very like ho-hum about it at the time, but then you know, the nurses would be like, congratulations, you're getting your port out, that's awesome. And she's like, whatever. But then the next day she was like, wow, I feel so much better, it's like this weight's been lifted. So she's way happier. Now, she started radiation yesterday. For those who knew, my mom has breast cancer. She has triple negative breast cancer. She's gone through surgery, chemo, a clinical trial, and now it's time for radiation. She started yesterday, so today is day 2. She goes in every day, not weekends, but every weekday for 7 weeks. They radiate a very large area, so she has to put lotion on all of that. And then her Tuesday appointments are going to be longer because she sees the doctor after. So I'm waiting to see if she wants me to come to the Tuesday ones or not. But at this point, I'm not going to the daily ones because it's a 20-minute appointment that I wouldn't even be allowed into. And so I would be driving at least an hour each way to see her for, 3 minutes. So I'm not going to the daily ones, but I'm certainly there if she ever needs me for anything. And I'm happy to go to the Tuesday ones, talk to the doctor, but it's really her decision. If she feels totally comfortable with it, there's no reason for me to be there, and I can just plan lunch someday instead. So we'll figure that out. Anyway, I'm telling you this now because when she was having the port removed, I had to work on something because I can't just sit in a waiting room and do nothing. But you're not going to see much difference because it was a long day, and yeah, they don't let you have food in there. I was so hungry by the time I got home. I hadn't eaten until, I don't remember what time I got home, but I hadn't eaten all day. It was like 4 to 5, I think. Anyway, Garlic Bean Crafty already finished hers, so I am behind. But I thought this was appropriate to work on because this is what I was working on that camping trip when she told me she had cancer when she got diagnosed. So this is kind of a full circle. Worked on it when she had the port removed. So I'm hoping to finish it this year. That's the plan. It's dimensions, so it's fine, but working on it's tough with the pattern. I just don't like dimensions and patterns. I can't even explain why, but he's cute, huh? Little owl. It's one of those ones that in my head doesn't look that great, but then I see it and I'm like, oh, that actually looks really good. So I think there's just finish the owl, any backstitch that's in there, and then I think there's more, like another flower right there. And I mean, that's it. It's mostly done. So another flower, let's see. Yeah, see, I mean, it's really backstitch and another flower that's partially there. It would not take long at all. I don't know why I don't just finish that. Okay, I'm gonna show you the other small one before I show you that one. This I have zero recollection of working on, but I love this frame. It keeps the edges from snagging when you're pulling the floss through, because this is Mill Hill perforated paper, but also because it's magnetic everywhere. I can just stick the needle on it. I don't even need a needle minder. It's so much more pleasant to hold. So this is going to look like that, maybe. It has a nice big thingy. magnet thingy, button thingy. That's not a magnet, button. Maybe they should do that. Instead of buttons, it should be like a needle-minded magnet. That'd be easier to stick it on projects, wouldn't it? So I can't tell you what I worked on because I have zero memory of working on this. I do remember taking some of it out and putting some of it back. Maybe that's what I did. I don't know. Don't know, but everybody needs one of these frames if you work on a lot of this sized Mill Hill. Etsy. I got mine on Etsy, and I blame Kim Hollenbeck, Full Coverage Fanatics, for that because she showed it on her floss tube. Okay, last one. This is not a color picture. Tropical Paradise. This was also on Etsy. You won't find this anymore, and I don't think she even has a shop anymore. Unfortunately, somebody had asked, I think last year, and I tried to direct her, but I don't think she exists anymore. I mean, the person who asked me exists. The shop, I don't think, does anymore. Okay. This is on sugar maple fabric, so it's not available anymore. There it is in all its glory. What did I work on? I think this bird. I don't remember that bird being there. I think I did that and some of the trunk. Oh, and I did definitely did back stitching on that. I vaguely remember doing that. Almost done with that one too. There's only a few more birdies. A few more. Isn't that fun? That's fun. I like that one. It's a pleasant one too. And it's PDF, so it's, you know, easy to work stuff off. Just not easy for the backstitch because backstitch doesn't show up on PDFs like that. So I use the hard copy for it. Okay, everything is still open so I can take pictures. That should have been everything. That looks like everything. So now what? Haul. Okay, so I think I had mentioned to you guys a couple of things. One of which was that my husband bought more sugar maple fabric and gave it to me for Christmas. So I won't make you look through it all because I know you get tired of it. But also my sister made this. When I held it up, I'm going to tell you, I didn't know what it was at first. So I'm going to tell you before I hold it up. It's for your water bottle. Isn't this beautiful? I know some of you are giggling because you're thinking what I was thinking. She has so much talent. Anyway, my sister made that and gave that to me. Alright, I'm going to show you the sugar maple, but also I'm not going to make you like, we're not going to go through it and ooh and ah and look at everyone because I know you guys are tired of my sugar maple. This is Fairy Morn. We have Gelati. We have Mystery. It's Lugana. I don't know what that is. Hypnotic. I think it's easier if I show you the back side because I guess I can just flip it and show you both sides, couldn't I? Snickerdoodles. I have a few of those. Mountain Lake. That looks very similar to this Tropical Paradise one, or whatever it's called. I think that's what it's called. The birdies. We have Mystic Glade. I don't know how well you can see the colors. They're really pretty. Petal. And Snowflake. That doesn't look like a snowflake to me, but you know, to each his own. Douglas Fir. Wild Rose. And Desert Island. So that's probably the last fabric I will be buying unless there's a certain call for something that I just have to have, or you know, the stuff for full coverage. But I didn't buy this, my husband gave it to me. Not my fault. I'm not at all complaining. I love it all. Okay, so the other thing I think I told you was that Alyssa had, Alyssa had given me an Advent, but she gave it to me on Christmas Day, and she decided to make it for me for the Stitchy Advent thing. So every day I would open one. I was in Hawaii in the beginning and whatever, so I only opened them on the days I was at work in this office where they were. So, excuse me, it took me till almost like February, excuse me, even though it wasn't 24 things. So, there's so many things in here I love, but then I got to the last day with the pattern, and she was there that day, and I opened it, and I was like, oh, and I'm thinking, how am I going to act surprised, because I own this pattern already, so I don't want her to feel bad. And then she admitted that she actually had gone in my closet while I was gone and had picked out something she thought that I should start, and she kitted it up using the flosses and stuff I have in here already. I am not even the teeniest bit upset about that. I think that is awesome. So this is one of the things I'm going to start this year. But Cheap Heap from Plum Street, and she picked out this fabric from my fabric stash. I think it's Highland from Picture This Plus. And I've done a floss toss, and I think it's an excellent choice. But look at this bag that she gave. Well, I mean, I can't take everything out. It's from Just Crossing Stitches, but it is so cute. The sheep, so cute. And then, like, all the colors are in here. The stuff she couldn't find, she just subbed with the DMC. But we've got all these beautiful colors. And then she gave me these needle threaders, which I've not tried yet. And then this adorable needle minder, cute little sheep. And let me see if I can find the one I told you about, because I love it so much. Here's the little sheep. Sheep butt. Look at the tail. Oh, I love it so much. That's from Magnetic Needle Minder, Clay Art by Delisa.etsy.com. I'll hold that up again. Isn't that adorable? I just love that so much. This other one is Botanical Craft Studio. Botanical Craft Studio. I'm starting my hair. I have a hood, and my hair goes crazy with this, and it makes it look like I can never brush my hair. I'm going to use this for the thread drop for this, and these came from Carla Being Crafty. She made these for me. Thank you, Carla. I've showed you guys that before. And then she said these scissors are horrible, but she didn't know until I had opened it that day, and there were 2 sets, and so she said, hey, can I try one? I was like, sure. So I gave her one. She said it's horrible, but you can see the bag better now. Isn't that cute? Look at these needle holders. Are those not beautiful? On screen. It screws right in. Oh, those are so pretty. So I can't wait to use those either. I kept everything together so I could show it all to you. Yeah. So I'm super excited. I can't thank Alyssa enough. That was a super fun Christmas present. I gave her all the little bags back that she had the stuff in. Wink, wink. Do it again, again, again. So I will be starting this sometime fairly soon. I'm not sure exactly when. Speaking of starting things fairly soon, I think that's it for haul. Not bye. I'm not leaving you for the haul. Okay, so I have plans to start 4 things. That was one of them. Cheap Heap is one of them. I was laying in bed one morning. It was 6 something, almost 7 in the morning, and my phone's on silent. And I was looking for something on my. I wasn't looking for. It wasn't like I didn't know how to use my phone. It was. I play a game in the morning where you try to find things. It's like hidden bright objects or something. Whatever. So I was searching for these little items on my phone, and this thing popped up, and it was ringing. My phone was ringing just before 7 in the morning, and I'm like, why? Nobody calls me then. So you have that moment of panic, and then I saw the name, and I was like. She doesn't call me. She hasn't called me in like 3 years. There's something going on here. So I answer it. And she says, oh, I think I have the wrong number. And I said, I wondered why you were calling me. I thought that was a little strange. And she was like, oh, okay. And I was like, you have a good day. And she's like, you too. And hung up. I went back to bed because my husband was in bed. He was asleep. So I had jumped out of bed and ran down the hall to answer the phone. So I wouldn't bother him. So then I go back to finding things in my phone. And then it rings again. And it's that same name. And I'm like, She's trying to delete me out of the phone and has accidentally called me. That's exactly what's happening here. So I wait, thinking it's going to stop ringing as soon as she realizes she accidentally called me. So I hop out of bed, I ran down the hall, and I say, hi again. And she's like, Julie, I recognize your voice, but I was kind of in shock from having dialed. And I was trying to call somebody else with the same name, another Julie. And she's like, I just got you confused. And so I wanted to call and actually talk to you. Dina, half stitch, cross stitch. You have to watch her. I assume everybody does. She's the sweetest human, like, on the planet. She is just so pleasant to talk to. It's so sweet. So we chatted for a little bit, and then we discussed Alpine Garden, the Chatelaine, because she had said before that she was going to start, well, she has already started hers, but she hasn't worked on it forever, so she was going to pull it out. And she had a friend that was going to start it, but she was waiting for the stuff to come, I assume from European cross stitch, which could take over a year, depending. And so we just kind of gone on with life and kept saying, someday we'll start it, someday. So we discussed it, and we decided to start it on March 21st. That is Ami's birthday. Ami is my African grey parrot. So March 21st, we will be starting I'll be starting Alpine Garden. She'll just be pulling out and working on it. I have no idea if her friend ever got the stuff, or I don't know what the deal is with the friend yet. I should have asked. That was probably rude of me not to, but I didn't. But I just thoroughly enjoyed that conversation with her. She is so just pleasant. She's so good on the phone too. I'm always awkward and and she's just like, oh honey, so sweet. Southern drawl, amazing. So anyway, hi Dina. And I am super glad we're going to work on that together. I think about that every single day, that I can't wait to work on that Alpine. And then I told you there's a retreat in February, and Stitch and Mommy will also be there. You should also watch her, which I assume you do, because that's one of those I think everybody does. She had texted one day and said, hey, do you want to start, not just me, but actually it wasn't even a text, because we had a discussion about this a few weeks ago. It was, I think, a message on like Instagram. It does not matter a bit to this story, but she was going to start this thing at the retreat and said, hey, is anyone else interested? And of course she picks a pattern that has a bird in it, so yes, I will start it with you. I can't remember the name of it. It's something about snow, and it's luminous fiber arts, and I'll show it to you after the retreat, after I start it. It's a PDF. I've bought the PDF. I've kitted it all up. Do I know where I've kitted it up? No, I don't know where I put it after I kitted it up. I assume it's in the closet with, all the whips, but I have no memory of what I did with the bag I put it in. So I will be starting that. And then the last one will also be a start with Stitch and Mommy. I had told her I had asked on a floss tube where to get beads, like Delica beads, and she told me, Stitch and Mommy told me, I know, I can see it in my head. I don't remember the name of it. It's an Etsy store. And I went on there and she was absolutely right. And I bought all the beads and they arrived and I dyed fabric. The fabric's right up here. I can show you. Hold on. And I bought a scroll rod for it. So here are the beads. That should also answer the question about where they came from. I assume that says, well, yeah, but it's tiny. Under the, anyway, see, purple beads. And then I have dyed this fabric purple. It's real hard to tell that those beads go well, but they do. I dyed this purple. I haven't decided, this side has some, like, it's not just a solid purple, it has a little bit of modeling and some like whitish spots, but this side has like that line running through it. It's darker on this side, but somehow I messed up with the dye and got it in that line because it was unfolded, but I don't know. So I think I'm going to have to use this side. But hopefully, once you get so many beads on them, maybe you won't notice. that it's a little bit more mottled than I had intended. But anyway, they go really well together. So this, let me put this back up here so it doesn't get damaged. That is for, I'm like laying down, an ink circles pattern, circle to circles or something along those lines. And I had seen a version of it, a beaded, fully beaded version at Stitch West. Yeah, Stitch West this last year, and fell head over heels in love. I was fascinated by the thing. I took pictures. I took close-up pictures. I was just enthralled by it. So I decided to do the same. So I wanted like a tone-on-tone with a darker bead, and it took me a while to get that color. Like, I mean, that was the first dye job, but you know, I was experimenting in the bowl with dye colors until I got one that was just a lighter version of those beads, and that's exactly what I got. So I'm thrilled that it worked first try, but also I should have been more careful about making sure that line wasn't there, and I got bored standing there holding it down in the water. So maybe if I kept it longer, it would have been a bit darker. You live, you learn. But anyway, I plan to start that with her. She's not doing the same thing. She has a beaded pattern that she wanted to start, and I don't think it's frosted pumpkin, but I don't know why that pops into my head, but it is a pumpkin, and it's gonna be really pretty. And so we just haven't picked a date, but those are my plans for things to start this year. And before you all get all, you've started so many things, my goal is to start 9 things a year, and with those 4 and the ones I already have, we should be, well, I had to finish so I could have a 10th one if I wanted. We should be pretty good for the 9/10. Okay, those are my plans. I need to spin or a new start. My experimenting is still working, so let's, I need to, screen record. Boop. Okay. So this will be for, I wanted to shuffle. Well, you can see that, I screen record. I probably edited it so you couldn't. This is for this weekend. I don't know if we're going to the cabin or not. I don't know if it's going to matter or not. I don't know what's happening this weekend. I know I have to do payroll on Sunday. I know it's also a problem because of the banking issues. I know I have Monday off, and I know I'm gone the rest of the week. So, don't worry, the house isn't going to be left alone. So, don't try to break in. Poltergeist. That's Poltergeist Pirates. That is also Rosewood Manor / Glendon Place. I'm telling you, I think in my head, it's Rosewood Manor, but it's not. It's Glendon Place. That, to me, is my jury duty project, because that's what I worked on at jury duty. I have no issues with that, so let's do the random number generator and just see if there's one I would rather start instead, which I'm guessing is no. The rule for me that I've made up in my head is if they sound the same, neither one sounds more exciting, then I go with the whip versus a new start. All right, 72. What do we think 72 is? I will edit this so you don't have to watch me figure it out. Interesting. 72 is Tisket a Tasket, which is Rosewood Manor. Oh, do you want to see it? I have it. That, my friends, was a project. I went to the basket that I thought it was in, to the exact spot I thought it was in, and didn't see it. So then I went through that entire basket, and I was like, well, it has to be in here. It wasn't. So I went to the other basket that's harder to get to because I have stuff in front of it. So I pulled the stuff out. I went through it all, and I'm like, where is it? So I went through the final basket, and it wasn't there either. I was like, this makes no sense. It had to be in that first basket. I went in there. It was. It was exactly where I went the first time. It's just that I slid my hand, you know, those standing up, and I was going through, and I grabbed the one in front of it at the same time and thought they were the same one. A Tisket a Tasket. Rosewood Manor. And I have the fabric and all the floss. So now I have to decide. Do I want to start that? Or do I want to work on Poltergeist Pirates? Which I did not just pull out, but yeah, I don't know. Do I want to start this or do I want to... I gotta think about it. I'm leaning towards poltergeist. I have to really. Am I samies? I don't know. I have so many new starts. Do I need another new start? But look how pretty it is. I don't know. Vote. That sounded so demanding, didn't it? Vote. Vote, damn it. Vote. What do you think? This one? The Poltergeist Pirates. Which you have no idea what it is. If you don't know, you don't know. Hopefully I put in a picture so you kind of knew. Okay. My goodness. So, that just leaves other. I already told you about my mom. So that was it. That's it for stitching, unless I have a thought somewhere, which happens often. So this is just life. I've told you about my mom. Told you my phone is acting up. It's only been a few days, but it's been like since I updated it. So I'm wondering if it's an update issue. My husband's wondering if it's a SIM card thing. He's going to look at it tomorrow. But anyway, what's happening is people call me and I have no idea. It goes straight to voicemail, but I don't even know. It doesn't log the call, nothing. I have no idea. It doesn't ring. It doesn't, nothing. It just goes straight to voicemail. It doesn't tell me on my watch, doesn't tell me on my computers, nothing. Just straight to voicemail. And I can't get verification codes. Like if a website needs a 2-factor authentication, it doesn't send it. So the only way I've found to fix it is to hard reboot the phone. I can't just turn the phone off and back on. That doesn't work. But if you do the up, down, hold the side, that reboot, then it works for a few hours and then it goes back to not working. I don't know what's wrong. I don't know how to fix it. I'm very frustrated. I have enough going on in my life. I don't need my phone to disagree with me as well. If anyone knows, please tell me. Okay, so the major stress in my life, and I will look at my phone to see if I have like pictures of stuff that's happened in the meantime, because I can't remember and I didn't have time to plan for this. But the major thing going on was last week on Thursday, I was reconciling the bank account and I noticed in the pending transaction section, this is the company one, not my personal one, there was a pending transaction that said teller cashed check. We don't have vendors that cash checks. So I knew that this could potentially be fraud, but I couldn't see anything else about it at that point. So I waited till Friday morning. I checked first thing and it was, I pulled up the image and you could see on the front that it wasn't written to who I'd written it to. It had been altered, and I checked the back and it was signed. It wasn't stamped. Pretty much every business stamps or scans. You can tell. This was just like a scribble. So I was like, dang it. Because if you remember, 6 months ago, that happened to that batch of checks. So we stopped rubber banding the checks together, the envelopes, when we mailed them. And so we haven't had an issue since. And we had had one issue prior to that and one issue maybe 10 years ago with checks being stolen. Beyond that, we've had no fraud on any of our accounts. So I was like, okay, well, I remember the last time I tried to report it to the relationship manager and he didn't want to have anything to do with it. So I thought this time I'll just report it directly to the fraud department. So I called, and the fraud department, I got this woman who couldn't help me very well. I mean, she did eventually, but she would ask me for a piece of information. I would give it to her, and then she wouldn't be able to understand what I said. But like, she didn't understand the 8. I know I have a speech impediment. I can't say the letter R, but 8 doesn't have an R in it. So 8 is 8. 8 is 8. Ami, the birdies, I count the toes. I tell them they have 8 toes every day. We can count to 8. I know what 8 is. So it took a long time to get that claim going because, you know, numbers are hard. And at one point, she started to say a sentence and she stopped mid-sentence and it was just absolute silence. And so after a long enough pause of silence, I said, hello? Because I thought maybe the line disconnected. And she was like grumpy about it. She's like, yes, ma'am, what do you need? And I said, well, I thought the line disconnected. She's like, no, I'm here. I mean, very like snotty. And I was like, oh, well, you started a sentence and then you stopped and it was quiet and I thought it disconnected. She was like, oh, yeah, that happens sometimes with my brain. Ha ha ha. And she kept calling me sir. Do I sound like a man? I mean, I don't think I do. Anyway, finally got the claim. I wasn't upset with it. Like, it was fine. I was very friendly. I'm still not mad. I just think it's kind of weird, but whatever. I feel like you can get better, customer-facing help. She might be better off with something else, but, whatever. So she says, we have to put a hold on your account. And I say, no. And she says, okay, well, I'm going to have to transfer you to the customer advocacy department then. And I said, okay, I've gone through this. I went through this the last time and the time before and that one time 10 years ago. Customer advocacy, they just tell you, you have to put a hold in the account. You say no, they say, but you should, and you say no, and they read you a spiel, and you still say no, and they say okay, and they read you another spiel, and you say no, and they say, well, then you'll be responsible, and you say okay, and then the account is fine. That didn't happen this time. He said, I'm going to put a hold in the account, and I said no, and he said yes, and I said no, and he said, you don't have a choice, and I said, that's not true, you've never done this before, no. And he said yes, and I said no, and I asked to speak to a supervisor. He said no. I said yes. He said no. I said, all right, then I'm taking back my claim. Nothing happened. I'll just take the loss. It was only like $1,100, and it's a company. It's not me personally. Not that that makes it okay, but I mean, to the company, $1,100 isn't like, we're not going to go out of business. He said, no, you can't do that. And I said, I don't want to hold on my account, so whatever it takes to not have a hold, let's, do that. He's like, no, we're going to put a hold on it. And I said, no, there's got to be somebody else I can talk to. It doesn't even have to be a supervisor, just somebody else, because my account has not been compromised. They stole a check. They have no information. They have not hacked anything. They have no way of doing anything with that other than making more checks, which I've never had happen. And I keep an eye on the bank account every day. So my account is not in jeopardy. Please, no. And he said, yes. And I said, no. And he said, yes. And this happened for a very long time. Finally, I was like, listen, I'm going to call my manager, my relationship manager. I don't know why I struggle with relationships so much. Relationship manager. And he's like, yeah, you do that. And I was like, okay. So he gave me the claim number and I called my relationship manager, who did not answer his phone. And the thing that did answer the phone said, if you need to talk to somebody else immediately, press 0 and you can speak to a different relationship manager. So I pressed 0 and it said, nope, there's no operator, click. So I emailed my relationship manager and I said, I'm angry, call me ASAP. So he calls me eventually. And he says, no, we're going to put a hold in the account. And I say, no. And he says, yes. And I say, no. And I explained the whole thing. And he's like, well, he could have written down your bank account number. I said, so? My bank account number is on every check I've ever written in the last 23 years the company's been in business. Almost. It'll be 23 in July. And I've worked at 18. That check number is on every check. The bank account number and the routing number on every single check. I said, so what if he writes it down? I can't do anything with that. Why would he? He's like, well, he could transfer money. He could do stuff. I'm like, I can't even transfer money. How is he going to do it? And he's like, no, your account's in jeopardy. We have to do this. And I'm like, no, you don't have to do this. You haven't done it before. It's not been an issue. He's like, we lost, $25,000 on you last year because of that batch. And I said, you did not. You guys told me that if you couldn't get the money back, you wouldn't give it back to me. And slowly trickled in, I got the money back, which means you got the money back, so you didn't lose the money. He's like, no, my risk department says, you guys are the problem, so we're holding the account. In order to get that account unheld, you have to sign up for positive pay, which is like fraud protection, where you have to send in a list of checks that you cut, and then only those checks will clear. And I told him positive pay doesn't work. Remember, we talked about this. When it's an altered check, it's only looking at the check number and the amount, and those are fine. What's altered is the payee. And he said, no, we have a different one now. Well, you can. I'm like, okay, whatever. And he's like, the other option is to change the bank account number. And I don't know if you guys have ever done anything with a business, but you don't just change the account number and everything's fine. I mean, payroll, all the ACH stuff, everything is going through your bank account, and you can't just change the number. I mean, even we print our own checks. We have to change everything in the system. We have to reach out to like vendors and customers and anyone that's doing anything that affects the bank account, which is everybody and everything. Credit card processing. We can't process credit cards if the money can't go into the bank because we changed the account number. And I've already talked to the credit card processors, and it's not a simple thing to just change the account number. We have third-party software that has to be involved. Like, it's a lot. There's a lot involved. So in the meantime, my account is completely locked down. I can't pay anyone. I can't ACH. I can't write a check. I can't wire transfer. I can't do anything. I can't touch that money. I can't take it out. All I can do is the money can come in. People can still ACH, the credit card's still going to go through. I have payroll this weekend. I don't know if it's going to go through because they still have the account on hold. He said, well, we'll get you a quote for that positive pay thing. I'm like, whatever, like, get it done. And it's just been so many little things. And Wells Fargo, maybe I shouldn't have said who it was. The bank has been such a problem for so many years, but I have defended them and said, no, we'll keep going, whatever. But the CEO of the company has wanted to change banks for at least 8 years now. And like, everything is a project, everything. That's the bank that when COVID was a thing, and I was holding $90,000 in cash, they wouldn't let me in the bank because they said there were too many people in it. But there was an entire side of the bank where nobody was standing. And I was like, well, let me stand over there where it's safe until it's my turn. And they said, no, you have to stand outside. You want me to stand outside with $90,000 in cash? Yes. I said, well, can I have a security guard stand with me? They said, no, that's not their job. So I left and brought my husband back. That's when we set up the whole night drop thing. This bank has been problems. So I told the guy, listen, I need access to this money. I need to do something, and this is ridiculous because my account isn't in any kind of jeopardy. It hasn't been compromised. I'm going to change banks. If I have to change my account number, I'm just going to change banks completely, because if I'm going to go through all that, I'm going to go someplace else. He's like, no, we can do the positive pay. I'm like, okay, but I don't want to pay for that. Like, this is really fraud protection. I don't want to pay for it. And he's like, no, you have to pay for it, and you have to do all this signing up stuff and agreements and whatever. It's been days. And I finally got the quote this morning, and I think I got the quote last night, and I told him there was a $100 setup fee, which I was like, no. Anyway, I got that removed, but like, we got through all that last night. They did not send me the paperwork to sign until 4:30 this afternoon. So I'll be signing that tomorrow and sending it back in. But in the meantime, I met with a different bank. Their fraud protection is completely free. It's better fraud protection for my situation because I don't have to upload all the checks, because here's the problem with that. And I was talking to another location that has that feature and didn't like it and switched to the one that I'll be getting with this other bank. The problem with that is if you accidentally forget to tell them, or you don't tell them in enough time, like they don't upload it quickly enough, and something tries to go through, it bounces. And then you've got bounce check fees, and you have angry vendors, and you have to explain, and then your reputation's tarnished, and no one trusts you anymore, and it's a whole thing. And if they call you to check to see if that check should be allowed to go through, it's $20. They charge you $20 for them to call you to ask you. ACHs, if you don't warn them about the ACH in time, it's $14 for them to call you if they don't just auto reject it. So I asked them, can I have the kind of positive pay where you go ahead and put the checks like through, but you hold them and then you pop them up on like my dashboard the next morning, and then I go through and verify them and release them, and then they get paid. And then if I don't do it by the cutoff time, then it just automatically goes through and it's my fault. And he said, no, that's too much work for you. We aren't gonna do that. We don't have that. No. So I'm stuck with this uploading in advance thing. But this other bank, I can do that after the fact. And so I just do that every day, even on a Saturday. Like, it's not a big deal. It only takes a few minutes, log in, check them all. You can tell by sight, there's pictures. Like, I know if it's been altered or not. I know the instant I see it if it's been altered or not. So I don't have to like double check it against anything. So that's the current plan. Fun story. So yesterday, Wells Fargo called me, emailed me. They emailed me and said, hey, we have a picture of the person that did this with the check. So he emails me yesterday and says, we have a picture of the person. I can't send it to you. I can't let you see it anyway, other than making an appointment with the manager of the big branch near you. I can send it to him and he can show it to you. So we set that up for today, and I went in at noon, and I did not recognize the person. But I asked while I was there, hey, if I wanted to do a wire transfer, since my account's kind of locked down, I can't do it the way I normally can. Can you do it for me? Like, if I came in here and we had an appointment, could you do it for me? And he looked at my account and he said, no, it's too locked down. I can't do it either. I said, well, then how am I supposed to do it? And he said, my relationship manager could do it. Well, the reason I want to wire transfer money is because I need to get half the money out of that account and move it to the new bank once they open it. I can't very well tell them I'm leaving banks. Like, that seems rude. That seems like you should more surprise people with that after the fact, not during. So when I got back, I emailed the relationship manager and I said, hey, I didn't recognize that person in the picture. And he said he would let the fraud department know that. I said, but I have this problem where I need to do a wire transfer sometime in the near future, and I'm not sure if it's going to go through if I try to do it. And I asked the bank manager, the branch manager, and he couldn't do it, but he said you could. And he's like, no. He's like, I can't do it either. He's like, but once we get this whole fraud thing set up, you can just do it yourself. When's the fraud thing going to get set up? At that point, I hadn't gotten any of the paperwork, nothing. So, and I don't know if the limit is high enough for me to move that much money in one transfer, but they'll also charge me $30 every time I do it if I can't get it all in one. So I have this major stress where I can't run the business the way I need to because I can't access the money. They gave me a deadline that ended up being like 1 hour yesterday where I could print checks and upload the info to him, and he would give it to the fraud department so that checks could clear, because it's been like days and I haven't been able to pay anybody. But I had to hurry up and get the stuff in, so I didn't get to get in everything I needed. And then I asked him today, I'm like, okay, so can I send the checks? And he never answered me, because he had told me before, don't send them until you hear from me, because I need to make sure they got them. I asked him twice today, and I still haven't heard from him. I still don't know if I can send the checks. So I just stamped them today, and I'm going to mail them tomorrow morning, and I really hope they go through. So anyway, if you have any fun Wells Fargo stories, tell me. Please make me feel better, because I've actually talked to 2 people today. 2 customers actually called me because they're having bank fraud issues and have to change their bank accounts, and both of them were Wells Fargo. So let me know. Makes me feel better. I'm not alone. Okay, let me look at my phone real quick and just make sure that there's nothing in the photos that I wanted to tell you about. Okay. I didn't have anything in my pictures exciting, except I just wanted to say that when I was in the waiting room waiting for my mom to have a plate removed, I noticed a sign on the wall. And for those of you who don't live in California, I think you'll appreciate this. It's basically how safe the building is in the case of an earthquake. So I'll put that in there so you can see how comfy I felt being in that building. We did have an earthquake here one day. It actually woke me up. It was like 4 in the morning, woke me up. It was spooky. It wasn't very big though, but it was enough to wake me up and like it. I think that's about it. Sorry, this is kind of long. I do hope you stick around. Next week, like I said, I'm going to just show you everything, the finishes and the spinny. Hopefully Alyssa will be here. If she's not, I'll just show it all, and you'll get to see everybody's everything, and then we'll start over. So if you have a finish that you want me to share, send it now. If you have a whip that you want me to show, send it now, and I will show everything all at once next time. Let me know whether I should start Tisket a Tasket or if I should not. Should I welcome Poltergeist Pirates? I don't know. I have to decide. If I asked you for anything else, do that too. stitchingatthecabin@gmail.com is the email to send stuff to. It's down below. I think that's it. I know I'm forgetting something, but I don't know what it is, because there was something for weeks I've been like, I need to make sure I say that or show it, and I had made notes at one point. That's buried under all the bank stuff on my desk. Probably. Okay, you all have a wonderful couple of weeks till I come back and we visit again. Goodbye. Bye. Bye.